Hey, Fran Fam, welcome to Life and Style with Francyne. My next guest is a nationally syndicated radio TV personality. She is the co host of the DL Hughley Show and DL Uncut. Quite a success story. However, she has another story to tell. She's been known for her adopted and winning campaign. Please join me in welcoming Jasmine Sanders to the show to talk about her own adoption story. Hey, Jasmine.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
I am wonderful, beautiful. I've been waiting for this. I was looking back at the emails with Tasha, and we had like 23 between us. And it's like it finally happened.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh my
Look at
God,
you.
yeah.
Stunning. You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You are too. And we're going to talk about the haircut and what that all signifies, right?
Yes, we can do it. We can talk about, listen, whatever you want to talk about, Francyne, we can talk about.
Oh, goody. Yay.
Open book. I'm a Scorpio girl. Open book. What you want to know?
When's your birthday, Jasmine?
My birthday is coming up Saturday, November 21st.
Oh, my God. Happy birthday early.
Thank
Oh, my God.
you.
Are you doing anything special?
Girl, please, with COVID.
I know, girl.
In my backyard.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to be politically correct, but it's like some people, it's like, wait a minute. So where are you based, Jasmine?
Los Angeles.
Okay, so I'm in Michigan, and we're back on partial shutdown.
Michigan, you guys, what are y'all doing?
Girl.
The election, COVID.
Baby.
You guys are in the thick of things.
Wait a minute. Political pandemic, physical pandemic. I mean, and they were almost about to clown yesterday.
I know.
And not certified.
I saw.
Did you
I
see
saw.
that?
I absolutely did.
Wait
I said, they're trying to steal the votes.
Voter suppression 2.0.
In front of your face, they are trying to steal the votes.
And they were ready to fall on the stake and say, you know what? We'll certify the votes in these areas, but not here.
But not these. And where were these? The black votes.
The
you
black
know what's
votes.
up.
So
thank God for that whistleblower. He was singing in the comeback choir. He was like, and there, and he was there. I was like, oh my God, he is invited to the picnic for life.
Yes. And you know what? And he might even can bring that potato salad. We just won't eat it.
Nope. Not gonna eat the potato salad.
We're not gonna eat the potato salad with the raisins. We are, but he can come.
And the pecans and all that. No, we're not gonna do it.
Can we just move on to the inaugural? Can we just move on and heal for real?
Yes. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
And you're right. I think that there are people in this country who are willing to sell it out just for what they want. They are willing to sell our democracy. They're willing to sell, just America. They don't care. I think it's so sad. I hearken back to what Oprah said some months ago, maybe even a year or so more now. She said, racism in America won't die until old white men die. And you know what? She had a point. She absolutely had a point. And so when you think about what's going on in this country right now and the people who are willing to uphold this madness that this guy is doing, I cannot for the life of me figure it out. I get neophytes and people who are new to the political game, but these people who've made careers in politics, it's all they've ever known. You can't make sense of the fact that they're backing this guy. We're already headed into what? December. And this guy still refuses to concede.
Like a petulant child.
Let it go.
73 million voted. You're no stranger.
73 million said.
For this clown.
I saw the kids in cages.
Yes.
I saw the number of COVID cases and the number of deaths. I saw the lies. I didn't see the taxes. I saw the xenophobia, the racism. And you know what? I'll have seconds. Yeah. I want more of that. I love the way that tastes.
Yeah.
That's the sad reality. Yeah. And the other thing is when you consider the face of these people, it's not the one that we're used to. It's the guy next door. It's the guy who works he's the barista at Starbucks. It's those people in Charlottesville. carrying tiki torches, they had khakis button downs on.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yes.
not that's not the face of racism that we're used to.
No, it's
It's
not.
not.
And you
Mm-mm.
think about it, it's like the one smiling in your face, calling your name with your,
Mhm.
calling your cup with the name on it, and
It's
it's like,
Karen and
man,
Kevin.
Carol
It's
and
Karen.
Kevin.
It's not Ma and Pa Kettle anymore. Now it's Karen and Kevin.
No, no. It's a never ending battle, but what I
Never
can
ending.
speak to or celebrate is, please, now, if you were apathetic about voting, please look at the fact that your vote indeed did count.
Yeah.
And if it
I
didn't,
mean, it was almost stolen,
it was stolen.
but it
Yeah,
counted. It
but
was
it
it was
counted.
almost
It would
stolen,
have
but it
counted.
counted. Yeah,
Exactly,
for
exactly.
sure.
So, Media Maven, talk about, I read where when you graduated from college, you sat in the office of the station 5 hours every day.
I did.
Yeah.
Like it was a job. I did.
Yeah.
But I think that that speaks to the tenacity,
Yeah.
my ambition and my drive.
Yeah.
Typically when you graduate college, there's like this ongoing conversation amongst friends that you're never going to get a job in the field that you studied. There's going
Yeah.
to be so much competition out there. It's going to be so hard. You're going to end up doing something totally different. And I just refuse to accept that narrative. So I
Yeah.
knew I wanted to go into radio and TV because that was the field in which I studied. I double majored. I did broadcast journalism and political science, but I
Yeah.
really wanted to be a TV talent or an
Yeah.
on-air personality. So I
Yeah.
chose the number one station in the market because who wants to work at the third ranked station? So
Yeah.
I went to that station. I lied at the bursar's office and said I had lost money in the cigarette machine, so they'd give me $5 for gas because the system was
Yeah.
broke. And I
Hey.
drove 30 miles every day back and forth to this little radio station. And I sat in that lobby every day for almost 2 weeks.
Wow.
I made friends with the receptionist, and she was looking at me like I was cuckoo crazy. She was like, "Did you win something? Are you looking for someone?" I was like, "No, I am going to be working here soon." She was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations. What position?" I was like, "I don't know because I haven't gotten the job yet, but I will."
Hmm.
I made friends with her, and sure enough, probably, I don't know, maybe almost at the end of that 2-week point, one of the personalities came out and was like, "Who are you? You're here every day." And I said, "I want a job." And the rest is history. But I just kept going back. I wouldn't stop.
It speaks to, your tenacity, but if you're going to manifest, you definitely have to put some work with it, correct?
Oh, for sure, because
And
faith without works is
is
dead.
dead.
It's dead.
So it's like sometimes it takes doing those kinds of things out of the box, thinking out of the box when it's something that you really want. You
For
you
sure.
were going every day and as if you were already working there. That was
Correct.
almost your faith, like, I'm going to work.
Yeah. And my friends thought I was crazy. So there was
Of
a lot of
course.
talk about, "Oh my God, you're wasting all of this money and you're spending
Yeah.
all your time there. And that's so stupid." And I refuse to listen. And I'm very much the same way today. I don't
Yeah.
listen to what people say. When I make my
Yes.
mind up about something, everyone else, my ears are shut to them. And I just
Yeah.
kept doing it and kept doing it. And before you knew it, I was working there. And my
Iris,
friends couldn't
yes.
believe it. They were like, "Oh
Yeah.
my God, we hear you." I was like, "I told you."
Yeah. Wow. And here you
Yeah.
are, heard every day across the globe, you know, drive time.
Yeah,
What's
it's a
it
blessing.
like working with DL?
I swear that is probably the most asked question. What is it
Yeah.
like to work with him?
Yeah.
And my answer never changes because it's true. I liken it to going to an amusement park, getting in line for the roller coaster, of which you know is going to scare the shit out of you. You get on it, you ride, you're terrified, you're thinking I can make it, and go up the hill, it's tick 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 tick, and you know at any moment that drop is going to happen. It does. You scream, you just want to get off, you're terrified for your life, you're about to throw up everywhere. And when the ride is over, you get right back in line to wait to ride it again. That is what it's like working with DL. That's exactly what it's like every
How
day.
how do you, because he's an alpha male
Mm-hmm.
and you're an alpha female.
Yeah, I've been told that.
Oh, I know you are.
I've
I can
heard
tell.
that before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can recognize that. Yes.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, we have a mutual respect for one another. I respect the alpha in him.
Yes.
And I think that's important. And he respects the alpha in me. And so we have a way of ebbing and flowing as we work together. And it's
Sure.
so funny when we first met for the first time, that was one of the conversations that we had. He was like, I need you to give me permission to be who I am and
Hey,
respect that. And I said, not only do I respect it, I welcome it. I said, but there has to be, some reciprocity. I am going to also
absolutely.
need you to respect the fact that I'm not the chick that just sits and grins and giggles at, sometimes your stupid jokes. Like I have opinions and I'm highly passionate about them. And, I don't want people to tell me to shut up when I have something to say. And so we both
Yeah.
made that agreement. And so we have spirited debates is what I call them.
Yeah.
But we work hard, we laugh hard, we love hard, and at the end of the day, we've become like best friends.
Sure. Sure. Hence, I said you were an alpha female simply because you
Yeah,
said, it's going to go both
yeah,
ways. You know
it
what I'm
is.
saying?
Yeah. Well, because I
Um,
think you do yourself a tremendous disservice
yeah.
in any business if you don't speak up for yourself and stand for something. If you don't, at the end of the day, you could be like tofu. You take on the
Yeah.
flavor of the room. And I've
Yeah.
never been that. I've never been
Yeah.
tofu. My thing is I want to stand out with my own opinions, my own thought process, my
Yes.
own personality, my own way of being. And if you don't show up in that way, you may as well stay home because
Yeah.
there are thousands of those people out there. We don't need any
Yes.
more of those. We need independent people, who are okay with their own personalities. And
And
and I'm
we,
proud to say that if I can't say anything else at the end of my life, I will
yeah.
be able to say that.
Yeah. Because your voice, man,
Yeah.
if you don't speak up, because some people right now in this sphere or in their season is
Yeah.
voiceless and or are voiceless, I should say. And so they need the ones with the voice, with the tenacity, with the, chutzpah, the
Yeah.
moxie, the black girl magic to speak up. So let's talk about as it relates to using your voice towards something that you're very passionate about. Your
Well, for
story.
me, I'm very passionate about adoption and foster care. And it is
Yeah.
because that is my background. And it took me a long time to, not that I was ashamed of it, but I think it was, for me, it was so second nature because I had always known it that I never
Sure.
really thought there was anything special or any reason to talk about it. So I would never talk about it. For years in the industry, I never added that as part of my story because I thought nobody wants to hear that. It's not really a big deal. But then the more I traveled, the more I spoke to people, and then I began to work with organizations that dealt with foster care. And I was like, wow, this is so crazy. Like, I never really thought that could be me. And when I realized that it could, and this is obviously was years ago, I
Yeah.
just made it a mission that, I needed to speak for that person that doesn't have a voice because I do. I was blessed
Yeah.
enough to be adopted into a forever home, but I never forget where I came from. And I never forget that that could have been me because I wasn't adopted until I was almost 5. And
Yeah.
everyone knows, statistically speaking, the older you get every year, you're a year closer to not being adopted because parents who do adopt, they want babies. They want to be able to swaddle and hug and hold and all of that.
Sure.
And so, you end up being in the system. You age out of foster care and then you hope to get into a place like the Covenant House that takes in people who've aged out of foster care. And then you age out of there to the streets
Sure.
and all of your things in a garbage bag. And so, when I think of what that would have been like for me, it's just impossible for me in good faith and good spirit to have something as powerful as the platform that I have and the microphone that I have and not use it for good, or to act as
Sure.
if I don't, empathize with people who are still in the system.
So, do you not know your natural birth parents, or no?
Well, I was able to meet my biological mom before she passed away. I never
Okay.
met my biological father.
Hmm.
So, but now, both my adopted parents and my biological mother have passed away.
One of the viewers says, "Your voice is beautiful. Do you sing?"
Are you kidding? I sing in the shower, I sing in the car, and that's about it. But it's so funny. I am always asked if I sing because of my voice, and I don't. I
Yeah.
have horrible pitch. I can't carry a tune, but I will tell you something interesting about my voice. When I first started in radio, um, my program director felt that my voice was too bass heavy for
Yeah.
a female. And so they wanted me to speak. I can't even do it now. It's
Yeah.
so funny to even think that I used to do this, but I used to speak from my throat in a very high pitch, kind of whispery way. And I did it for so long to appease, my
Sure.
bosses, because they said that's what people wanted to hear from a female, from a woman,
Yeah.
that I developed polyps on my vocal cords.
Wow.
And
Oh my goodness.
so when that happened to me and I had to go on vocal rest for about, I was supposed to be on it for like 2 weeks, but
Hmm.
I love to talk.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I realized in that time it's not worth it. So I will, free my voice, allow it to be what it is, and
Hmm.
either they love it or they don't. And it was at that moment that my career took off. And now I can't attribute it all to my voice,
Sure.
my authentic voice, but I have to believe that it had something to do with it. I think it allowed me to really just step into my authentic self as well. But I
So,
don't sing.
okay, getting back to the Adopted and Winning campaign, you said you met your birth mother before she passed
Yeah.
away. What can you say to someone that is contemplating being a foster parent or adopting?
I think you should do it. I think if
Yeah.
you have enough love in your heart, you can make up for everything else. I don't like to perpetuate the story that sometimes foster kids are not without issues, but if you consider the situation in its totality, how can a child be taken or given up by their parents and not have some type of emotional scarring from that? It's just natural. So, yes, we come with issues, but I don't think that it is anything that love cannot conquer. I think it just takes patience and understanding and really thinking what it must be like to not have your mother who carried you for 9 months
Sure.
to keep you, but to relinquish all rights to you over to an agency where you don't know what's going to happen to them. You can just hope for the best. And
Right.
now there's a baby out there all alone for the most part. So
Sure.
yes, you're gonna have some type of emotional scarring, whether you know about it from the beginning or you learn it a little later in life. So I think that I would like to believe that I bought joy and I don't know, a sense of pride. I would like to think that I brought that to my family, and
Yeah.
I think that, um, I believe they did the same for me. So, I think you can overcome any obstacle or situation with love, but I think it's important that if you are thinking about adoption or fostering, I think first of all, the fact that you're thinking about it, I think you're already on the right path,
Sure.
and I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, and I hope more people do it.
I saw you posted something about the cost of adopting a
Yeah.
black child versus a white child. Can you
Mhm.
talk about that and your feelings on how this is kind of like a market, so to speak?
Yeah, it absolutely is, and it's very reminiscent to, I guess, slave times. right? Because you're basically putting a price and a value. I understand the price when you're talking about the process, the admin of it, the paperwork, the filing and all of that, the court costs. I get all of that, but to me, it says something when a Black child is cheaper to adopt than a white child. And even at that, the Black children still remain in the agency longer and are the last to be
Yeah.
adopted, if ever. So I think that's sad. But I also think that it's sad that there are families out there who want to adopt children, but maybe don't have 30 or 40 grand, in one check to be able
Exactly.
to adopt. But it doesn't mean they can't afford shoes, food, and clothes on a monthly basis. But to be able to just write a check for 40 grand to be able to get a kid, I don't think that everyone is able. So it is my intention to start a charity, an organization, to be able to help raise funds for grants for families who are eligible to be able to adopt kids.
Wow. Talk a little bit about um, my brunch therapy, your new podcast.
So I actually have two.
Okay.
Brunch therapy is well before COVID hit. There were plans to take it on the road, and it was really about girlfriends coming together, sharing stories, laughs, heartbreak, just like a brunch that you'd have with your girlfriends. And
Yeah.
my plan was to set up a brunch setting where, we'd eat, we'd drink, we'd dance, we'd laugh, and we'd throw our heads back and allow joy to come out of our mouths. Because in my experience, I felt like most of the time that Black women come together, it is to pray and cry, but never to laugh.
Yes.
Pray about the men in our lives. We pray about our children. We pray about the problems that we have, and then we cry
Yeah.
about those things. But I feel like as Black women, we struggle our entire lives, and we carry the weight of the world sometimes on our shoulders because it always rests at our feet to fix it. Whether it is an election in Georgia, an election in Alabama, or the Black girl who climbed up that pole in Charleston, South Carolina to pull that flag down. It's like
Yes.
we're always called to battle.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when do we get to let our hair down and just enjoy our lives before we take our last breath? So
Yes.
my idea for brunch therapy was just that. It was our time to be able to, not care about bills due or baby need new shoes or he didn't come home last night. It's none of that. It's just what brings us joy. And that's just
Yeah.
laughing to the top of our lungs, not being concerned about how we look or what someone thinks about us, drinking our champagne and having a good time. That's what
Yes.
therapy was about. And the conversations would reflect that.
Yeah.
So that's part one. Part two is a podcast called Don't Tell Me to Shut Up, which is
Oh.
basically the same kind of, you see how that hit you? That. Because I feel the flip side of that is, Black women do so much, right? And
Yeah.
people want us to move mountains, but they want us to do it in silence.
Yeah.
And when we are loud, they call us angry. And I
Yes.
think if
Yes.
you've been silenced for any amount of time, of course you're going to be angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the podcast is based on me being able to speak my mind and run my mouth about any damn thing I want to. And in the process, don't tell me to shut up. And
Yeah.
I will give platform to other women to talk about those same things.
Yeah. I was watching, I saw something, it was talking about breaking down the mammification of Black women.
Mhm.
And how we are called on to be the mule, the martyr, the mammy.
Yeah.
Um, and
The break in case of emergency kind of thing. That's what we are.
yeah, and yet do it in silence. And then what is it? If we are silent, we are complicit to our suffering. So if we're silent, you don't know if we're happy doing this or we don't really want to do this. So,
Correct.
it goes back to really finding your voice, right? Finding your voice, whether it's as pretty as yours, but finding that voice and speaking up, and giving other people the liberty. I've been said, you just need to tone it down, and you're too, all the words. It's
Yes,
like you know the words, right?
of
You're too
course.
hard,
Hmm.
maybe he was a little, maybe you just need to fall back.
Yeah.
No.
Which is why I created Don't Tell Me to Shut Up, for that very
Yes.
reason.
Did you see when you said, I was like, woof, that
Yeah.
hit me like boom.
And that's how it hit most people. And it's
Yeah.
not even about being angry. It's not about, a lot of people thought that's what I was doing, was venting, and it was some type of feministic movement. And it's really not. It's just about me exercising freedom of speech,
Yeah. Yeah.
a
I
constitutional right. And
I
it
like
might be
that.
on something silly, it might be on something serious and thought provoking, and maybe
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
whatever I want it to be and however I'm feeling.
It's finding, I love that your, COVID was just has just taken over everything and knocked everything down. I pray
Girl.
everything is different 2021. If we could just sit down, wear a mask, you know what I mean, and
Yes.
not gather, hopefully people will in take inventory and decide, what, Thanksgiving, I really want to see my family next Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna fall back, maybe do some Popeyes chicken. I don't know. But you know what I mean? But um I like that we have to encourage one another to find and have more joy. I think we are carrying so much, and sometimes you got to let some of that stuff roll,
Oh, yeah.
and even with the election, it was like, what's going to happen, right? Like, I don't know, but if this man gets back in office, sometimes you just got to almost like, you know what, I'm gonna let it burn, because it's like, I can't do it all. I can't do it all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my part, but
Yeah. No, I got it.
because
You're
it's
right.
just like so
Well,
many times
I
black
really
women.
looked at it like the interesting thing about COVID to me is that I am certain that there were millions of people at one time or another at the beginning of 2020 who said, I just need more me time. If I just had more time,
Yeah.
if I just could this, then that.
Yeah.
And I think universe was like, okay, you want more
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
I think it's a lot like The Alchemist. I think you have to decide how it is you will listen to what the universe has whispered. And either you will answer um,
Yeah.
voraciously, or at the end of all of this, you will have wasted an entire year with everything that you could have asked for. You needed more
Yeah.
time, you got it. You wanted to be able to spend more time with your family, you could do it. You wanted more time to work on that project that you couldn't work. Well, the government gave you a check every week, more than what you normally would have gotten, right? Some people
Yeah.
got the stimulus check. Yes, it was only one, but there were a lot of forgivenesses being given out with the rent moratoriums and things of this nature. There were a lot of things that were working together
Yeah.
that could have been for your good, which is
Yeah.
why scripturally it says, count it all joy. The question is, what did you do with that time?
Yeah.
This will
Yeah.
never, it's literally like there was a shift in the matrix. This
Yes.
has never happened before. And dare I say, it may never happen again. So now that we literally got, as adults, we got an 8 or 9 month vacation. What
Yep.
did you do with that time? If you
Yeah.
don't come out of this with new type of entrepreneurial venture, if you
Yeah.
don't come out of this having worked out some mental or emotional scar that you had, if you don't come out of this a new person, and the only thing that you come out of it with is, oh my God, COVID was terrible. I couldn't go out to eat. I couldn't go to the bar.
Sure.
I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't get my hair done. If that's all you come out of this with, shame on you.
Yeah. I had to, it knocked me on my feet for a minute, as far as, because I did, have a time where I don't know, I was not well. But I remembered before that, right at the beginning, right, I think it was right around March, and I was in my quiet time, and God was like, you're either going to submerge or emerge.
That's it.
You're either going to submerge or emerge. This pandemic is going to show a lot of us who we really are.
Yeah, because you
You
can't
know,
stop it, right? So
you
you can
can't
either
stop
sit back
it.
and think about how terrible it is, or you can say, okay, I cannot make a national mandate that says everything is open and everything is back to normal. So what
Sure.
can I do? And listen,
Yeah.
I'm not talking like it was all,
No.
easy peasy. It wasn't, because I had COVID,
Yeah, I did
so,
too.
you know
That's
what I
what
mean?
I said.
So I'm
Yes.
like, I came through it just fine. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
that is everyone's story. So I'm not making light of the situation. But what I'm saying
Absolutely.
is you have to determine what you're going to do with this time. What are you going
Yeah.
to do?
Yeah. I have to really, this was my space. I don't think this, one of the things this pandemic has allowed me to do is be sustained in my commitment to my own goals and my own vision. I don't think I would have had the opportunity to even have this conversation with you right now, had I not said, okay, God, you know, hit the ground running, doing what I'm doing, having these conversations that I was going to different places to have conversations. It's like, well, not anymore, So here we are
Yeah.
with everybody at home, and doing it from wherever they're doing and making the best of this situation. And I'm not saying that if you made it out and you're sane, that is cool. I knew that I had to hear what I needed. I had to hear and hearken to the vision and to that word. So, talk about your haircut and what that signified,
So in like
which is
full
beautiful, by the
disclosure,
way.
thank you. In full disclosure, it was a mistake.
Oh,
So but no, I turned it into something. This goes back into the whole alchemy thing. You make something out of nothing, basically.
yes, yes.
So I got braids probably around the midsummer mark because I had been infatuated with these Marley kind of twists, right? And so I'd had braids one other time in my life, but I kept them for like maybe 2 days because they hurt like hell. And I was like,
Yeah.
I can't sleep with Satan dancing on my scalp. So we had to take that down. So I got this twist and I go on vacation. Um, and I'd had them for like 2, maybe 3 weeks, which is very long for me. And,
Sure.
I'm not really in the braid community. And so I didn't really know that there are rules to it. So I was like, hey, let's take these things down. Like, I'm kind of tired of them. They're heavy and, it's hot here. So I take them out and I immediately just get in the shower and wash my hair because I don't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, like the first 5 minutes, everything was fine. And then I go to wash it again because I'm a wash and go kind of girl. So typically,
Yeah.
I wash my hair every day, every other day. So I was like, well, my hair hasn't been washed in 3 weeks. Let me scrub the scalp. Wash number 2, it gets different. And it starts to mat and tangle. And my hair never tangles. So I'm
Wow.
like, what the hell is happening? So I condition for days. And
Yeah.
I have what amounts to a knotty mess on my head. Like it looks like I have dreads. So lucky for me, I am on vacation with one of my girlfriends who has an appointment when she gets back to get her hair cut with this guy
Sure.
who specializes in short haircuts. He cut Halle Berry's hair, he's cut Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. Everyone who's got a shortcut, he's done it. So I beg her, please get me an appointment with you. She does. I go to him and he's like, listen, we're going to have to cut all of this off. Now, I had already kind of come to grips with, I'm going to have to cut this because I just knew. And instantly, instead of being mad about it or irritated, I just thought this might be the universe's way of saying it's time for a change. It's time to do something
Sure.
different. I was never scared to do it. It was interesting when he cut it all off. I didn't feel any different. And I actually still thought I had hair. So as I was driving home,
Yeah.
I was putting hair behind my ears that didn't exist. It was like phantom hair. I was like, there's nothing there. And there are
Yeah.
still days that I come in and I go to put my hair up in a bun because it's what I normally would do, and there's
Yeah.
nothing in the bun. So, but
Ah,
I think it signifies don't be afraid of change. Like
sure.
just embrace it and go with it and don't be afraid. So I feel like I'm still myself. Um, I love it. I'll
Yeah.
probably let it grow out. I haven't really decided yet, but we'll see. For now, I'm
I
short and
under I understand you are an athlete.
yeah.
Um, what do you do? How do you stay in shape?
Well, I do weights.
Okay.
Um, I have a Peloton bike that I ride.
Do you
Um,
love it? Everybody that has a Peloton
I
loves it.
Now I've had mine for probably 4 years now. I've had it
Okay,
for a
before
while.
the
Yeah,
mushroom.
I
Yeah,
got it when it first came out, or maybe a year, not even a year after, and I've loved it. I love everything about it. It's so dope. It's dope. I love it.
yeah, yeah.
But here recently, I've been boxing. And I
Ah,
love it. I don't know if it's
yeah.
pent up aggression. I don't know what it is, but I love it. And I was at the gym the other day and I saw Layla Ali and I was like,
Hey,
try to spar with her. Now she gonna whoop
yeah.
my ass.
I know.
But that's kind of what my goal is. So hey
Yeah.
Layla, I'm coming for
Yes.
you, girl. In a
Yes.
gentle way,
Yes.
in a very gentle way.
Wow. Oh my
She's
goodness.
gorgeous. She's
I know she
gorgeous.
is. Yeah.
Oh my God, she's beautiful.
Yeah, she is. What else do you do for self-care? And what would you say to someone that is having trouble allowing themselves that experience?
Now this is going to sound really weird, but for me, self care looks a little different than it does for most people.
Sure.
I am not a like long, luxurious bath with candles and stuff. Like that's really not who I am. I actually, for self care, revert back to my childhood. So I do things that brought me joy as a child, and I feel like it I don't know, it energizes my spirit. So I watch
Sure.
cartoons, I like to play games that I played as a kid. Um, I do silly stuff, things that you'd only see like maybe an 8 or a 10-year-old do, like
Yeah.
riding a bus to Target. Like those types of things for me, they bring me joy and edify my soul more so than a facial would. So I'm a little different because I think it's a lot more mental than it is physical self-care. I think there
Sure.
has to be
Sure.
something that connects your mental and your heart. And so for me, it is doing things that I did as a kid because I feel like that is when you're your most carefree self. You don't really care
Yeah.
about, the opinions of others. You're really all about enjoying life to the fullest and how can we have more fun. And I think as an adult, if you can drop some of your responsibilities, even if it's for 10 minutes, I think there's a lot of self-care in there for me
Sure.
anyway.
Sure. Talk a little bit about, and I could talk to you all day because your voice is just, I just love the cadence of your voice.
Oh, thank you.
Um, Talk about love. What's your thoughts on love?
Wow. Ah, wow. Where do I begin with that one? I think ah, I don't really know how to
I
answer
had to
that
come back,
because
Jasmine, since I asked the most common question everybody asks. I had to ask you about love. I mean, because it's something, that we should talk about probably over brunch in
yeah,
such a, like,
it's the
oh,
ever
it's so
elusive love. I don't
wonderful,
know what to say about it. I will say that I think I've had it in my lifetime so far.
Yeah,
Uh, I hope to have it again. Um, I don't know what form it may come in, but
yeah,
I hope to have it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's intangible. I can't even describe how I feel about it, other than to say I
sure.
feel as if I've experienced it in my life, and I hope that God willing, I get the opportunity to do it again. It's literally like an egg. You have to carry it very gently. Is it cracked? Is it not? You're constantly checking it. And
Sure.
it takes a lot of time. And I think it's very difficult when you are especially being a female and a Black female in this business, and you have to put so much time and energy into whatever it is you're trying to do for a living, whether it is your own business, whether it is the career that you're in, the field that you're in.
Sure.
It's hard to watch an egg and watch your goals at the same time.
It
So
is.
for me,
It is.
I've chosen to kind of keep my eye on my goals, but every now and then I look to the left and hope that love is there.
Yeah. It's interesting because I have a girlfriend of mine. She says you either have a supportive partner or you don't, especially
Correct.
when you are ambitious,
Mhm.
and you know, at the level you are, the air is a lot thinner.
It's very thin, and it ain't for the weak. I can tell you that right now. It requires a lot of sacrifice. I think, everybody wants to win. I don't think everyone was designed to win at a certain level. I think it's no different than a spaceship. When it
Right.
launches, everybody is everything, and all these different parts are there. But as it climbs higher and higher and goes through the atmosphere, pieces fall off, and it's
Yeah.
necessary that they fall off. And I think
Yeah.
people are like that. Some people are only meant to go so far in your journey, and they
Yeah.
fall off because the air is too thin. And I
Yep.
think there are outliers, and those are the people who break through, and not everybody is designed to break through. Everybody
Yeah.
can't be in this business. It takes a certain type of tenacity, a certain type of tough skin, a certain way of thinking, and everybody ain't able. People
Yeah.
say they are until they're faced with it and they realize, I'm not built for this. I have to take my toys and go home. And I'm not one of those people. I'm one of
Yeah.
the outliers.
Thank you so much for allowing me to chat with you today. It has been an honor and a pleasure, and I wish you well
Thank
on
you so
everything you're
much.
doing, including the Adopted and Winning campaign.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you
Please
for
come
that.
back. We'll
Absolutely.
just,
You
yes,
have
it
me,
was
and next
great
time
talking to
you
you.
bring your wine too, okay? I
I
mean,
am.
I'll drink alone. I don't mind, but it's
Yeah,
fun. Just saying.
absolutely. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you
Thank you
soon.
as well,
Okay.
and Godspeed. Congratulations on
Okay.
the show.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.